Yeah, my roots are definitely Masunaga because I trained in England with a lot of teachers, or some teachers that had trained with him, and and again, some of the teachers that I trained in England, which were all wonderful, also had learned with Pauline, who was a disciple of Masunaga directly, but also from Kishi. So my lineage is that, you know, Masunaga, Pauline Sasaki, Kishi, and Ohashi is there somewhere in between, because he was the one that was able to bring Masunaga to New York, where Pauline met him and they worked together. They had a very fruitful collaboration for some time, and so definitely that's my lineage. And then I have to take in the other branch from Gregorian Tuhin, which is this Russian shaman that I've been training with for many years now, and from whom I learned the chakra system, you know, and how to connect with the spiritual forces of nature. So how to channel or connect with the light of the sun in your touch, so you can bring that into your client's system if it's needed. So that's. And before that, you know, Masunaga was a student of Namikoshi, and Namikoshi did a great thing, you know, like he managed to rescue Shiatsu from prohibition. It was prohibited to do Shiatsu, so we owe a lot to Namikoshi as well. I think Shiatsu is enough. I am not trying to change the world of Shiatsu or how Shiatsu is taught. That when I teach beginners Shiatsu and do my foundation training, I teach Zen Shiatsu, you know, the principles of touch, the meridians, all the same stuff that is taught in most schools. I have a personal quest on this integration of the chakras and Shiatsu, because it answers my spiritual questions of why do I do what I do, okay? And but I think it is important to keep the tradition alive of passing on the information as loyally possible and truthfully possible from how we got it, okay? But I see that whatever I have done with the chakras and with many other things improves the meaning of what I do, and it's not necessarily that I'm changing my technique. It's not necessarily that I'm changing the way I'm touching people. Okay, it changes the meaning of what Shiatsu is to me, and that attracts a particular kind of people that are interested in working those aspects that I've been developing for myself. Okay, so it's not that you need something else to do Shiatsu. I describe myself as Diego Sanchez, Shiatsu. So it's no chakras or anything. It's like, what do? I do Shiatsu. And you look at me and see what I do. I'm doing Shiatsu. I work on a table now, but it's not that it's you know, a crime. It's just efficiency for tall people, you know, like me, that it's easier to work on a table. But and of course, you know, the technique evolves because people evolve, and that's, I think, why we're looking for these other inputs. But it's not necessarily that Shiatsu doesn't have the response to the evolution of people are having. If we keep doing your regular Zen Shiatsu, I think it has everything there. Everything that I have learned and I want to apply, it fits perfectly well in the theory of Shiatsu. So it doesn't contradict anything. So Shiatsu is more than enough. Yes, at the same time it can, because it, you know, it depends how people take it forward. You know, yeah, I've seen horrible stuff that it's under the name of Shiatsu, and and it hurts. But again, yeah, I see this in many different countries, different professional associations that are trying to keep some order in you know, what is shiatsu and what are we supposed to do, and what is it that we're selling to the public, you know, what is it that we're doing, that we can talk about it and say this is what we do. And there are big differences, certainly. It's confusing. I don't have an answer there. It's I'm not for total inclusion of everything. It's important that if you do something that you have a very clear description of what you're doing. You know, I do shiatsu and I work with chakras, and I integrate the shiatsu and chakras, but it's clear what is what, and it's clear when it is together. Okay, it's not always that way. You know, you have to be aware of where you are in shamanic you know, world. You know, your only tool is to know where you are, because you could be in hell or you could be in heaven, and you know, if you don't know where you are, there's a different set of behaviors that are required. There's a different set of interpretation of situations that are required. So if you don't know where you're standing, you're lost, literally lost, but beyond lost. So you have to be able to describe what you do. You have to be able to be conscious of what you're doing, and you also have to be able to take the responsibility for what you do if it's different from something else, you know, and eventually have to find your place in the world. It might be within the shiatsu community or maybe not. Okay, I do think I belong to the shiatsu community 120%. So as I said, you know, everything I do refers back to shiatsu. Yeah, I've seen stuff that I'd rather not see it described under the same name of what I do. But I'm sure other people in the shiatsu world think what I'm doing is completely crazy. So you know, just working on the table, you know, I have so many things, so many times if it's not on the floor, it's not shiatsu. And you know, I've gone past that, but I know there are a lot of people that have that frame of mind, and that's okay. But I know where I'm standing. Well, yeah, it's a wonderful question. You know, how I was working 20 years ago, it wasn't that much different. What is different is me. You know, I am a different person. And so again, I go back to the meaning. What I do now has a different meaning, and I hope in 20 years' time, you know, that meaning would have evolved. I'm very happy if things stay exactly as they are now, because it's wonderful. But I know that I'm going to be changing, you know, and it's important that we take our time, and even our time off shiatsu when it's needed. Do your personal work, but I don't think it's going to change the technique much, you know, because really, I mean, I've seen and I work with the most amazing teachers or masters in our field, and the changes that have been happening is more of how the person is than how the technique is. So probably in 20 years, it's not going to be that much different.